So, let me start out by saying Happy Memorial Day to all my fellow veterans and all the military men and women out there still. Without you guys, half of the stuff we're allowed to do now wouldn't be allowed. And have fun out there, be safe. And with that in mind, I thought I'd start out today by explaining my military service. Thought you guys might want to know that. So, I started out in 2005 after the summer. Went to boot camp in a place called Great Lakes, or Great Mistakes for those Navy veterans and people out there. In Chicago. Chicago was awesome. Great Mistakes, on the other hand, wasn't. Spent a year up there for boot camp and ITA school. And it was alright. I mean, I spent the winter up there, so it was cold as balls up there. The A school, though, it's kind of funny because when you get there, they tell you that, or when you get to your ship, or your first command, whichever it may be, they tell you to forget everything you learned in A school, which is ironic because you spend a bunch of money, well, you know, the government spends a bunch of money for you to go there just for you to not learn a single thing that's important. And I'm assuming a lot of schools do this, unless you're search and rescue or something like that. A lot of schools will spend the money for you to not learn anything and forget everything when you get to your ship. From there, I got orders. Pretty much got to pick my orders. I wanted a carrier, and I also wanted Hawaii. At the time, I didn't realize there weren't any carriers in Hawaii, so I picked Hawaii over the carrier and got a ship called the USS Chosen, which is named after the Chosen Reservoir. And I got to the ship when it was in the yards getting worked on, and she has a lot of problems when she's in the yards. Like, we were in dry dock once and it flooded. Well, still don't understand how that works. Anyway, I got there and the guy on watch on the quarterdeck at the time was someone I went to boot camp with, which was kind of cool. I mean, first person I see, I knew. Which actually left shortly after. So, I get on this ship, get one of these 3 by 5 by 2 foot tall racks that they called a bed, which really wasn't a bed, and a locker to put all my stuff in. You have to keep in mind all this stuff I had from A school and everything else was a lot of stuff. So I had difficulty with that. I worked in a place called the radio shop and on the ship. We did all the communications, all the IT work, all the computers for the ship, and kept communications with everyone outside the ship. it was a pretty decent job. I mean, I won't say it was bad, but we went from pretty bad leadership to worse to slightly better. In fact, at one point in time, our ship held 25% of the Navy's alcohol incidents. And there's only 200, 300 people on board this ship. I don't understand how we did that. But I did learn a lot. I got out. When I got out, I did research for a while in the same field, but at the university. And got to work on something really cool. A cool little project that reflected what I did in the Navy. Not so much the communications, but the radio waves still. Anyway, back to the ship. I did 2 deployments to the Gulf, mostly to outside Somalia. One was before piracy ops were big. We still did piracy ops. And I'm pretty sure that's all we did. We didn't really do anything else. The second time, we were with the Nimitz Carrier Strike Group, and we were their air defense commander. Basically, we told the carrier when and where to launch their planes, how to go, what height to keep them at. We did all that stuff. We told what ships to follow them. And it was pretty fun to watch that stuff. I mean, there was a point in time where we had the carrier do a bunch of flybys of us, which was neat. And one certain instance, we were in front of them doing the flybys, and most of the jets flew past us on the side. Well, the air commander decided he wanted to be different and flew up to the side of the ship where the smoke deck was. They made an immediate left turn over the smoke deck and flew right above us. Coolest thing I've seen in a long time. Probably the most dangerous thing I've seen from them. And then we went back and did piracy ops again. Only this time we were put in charge of CTF 151, which was the commander of piracy ops at the time. Which wasn't a bad gig, to say the least, but it could have been a lot better. We were supposed to pull in probably once every week or two. Instead, we pulled in 2.5 months later to a place called Djibouti. And by pulling in, we didn't even pull in. We just sat on the pier for the whole time. Never even got to see the country that time, just sat there. But that was both deployments. Spent some time with the Nimitz Carrier Strike Group and the Baham Rashad Expeditionary Strike Group. And then I was up for orders, which is why I'm here actually. I was supposed to leave before the second deployment. I was supposed to go somewhere else. That did not happen. Instead, I was unwillfully asked to stay there an extra deployment, which kind of sucked. Which was the second one I told you about. I don't remember where I got off last time. This road kind of goes everywhere and not back. But the orders I was trying to get the first time was SEAL Team 1. And it was actually mixed. There were a bunch of Navy SEALs that came on our ship. They said, hey, you should come to SEAL Team 6 for all the ITs and ETs and stuff. And I thought about it. I probably would have been counterintelligence if I did. This would have been a bad gig, but I was really trying to deploy with the Navy SEALs and actually see combat with them. So I turned that down to go to SEAL Team 1. And then my command told me no. Said you're gonna stay here. So that's what happened, why I made the second deployment with the ship. So after that, pretty much the detailer, the Navy, and everyone else important said, hey, you have to pick orders after this deployment or you go home. Yeah, I called their bluff and went home instead. They told me I had to go to San Diego or to Japan. I could only go across one set of body of water at a time, which San Diego wouldn't have been bad. But Japan I really wasn't wanting to do, and sure would have been cool, but it wasn't for me. I was really trying to get Europe. Trying to go on a European tour. And I even told them they were going to send me to Europe, which they did when I got out. Through tuition, they sent me to Europe as a study abroad. I'm sure they were happy to hear that. I could have pulled in there. No, I guess I can't. So I went back home. I was actually pretty intelligent about it. I applied to a bunch of schools, universities all over the country, and wound up at Mizzou. They promised me tuition cap of $50 an hour. Didn't happen, but they did promise it at least. Yeah, after that, that was pretty much it for the military career. I spent 5 years on the ship, 2 of which trying to get off the ship, or 4 years on the ship, 1 trying to get off the ship, 5 in the Navy. And like I said, it wasn't a bad tour. I mean, I met some great people, a lot of friends that I still talk to, some of which encouraged me to actually get this bike. And I don't know. I mean, I talk to them on Facebook all the time. A lot of them I call. Some of them really want me to move to where they are to hang out more often. So all in all, the service was great, and I wouldn't change what I did for anything else. I mean, I went on that ship as an E2, E3 maybe, having no idea what I was doing, and left as something called a communications and watch officer, which was one of the top jobs, well, was the top job in the Navy. Well, not the Navy, in the radio shack. I was the guy at E5 telling officers that they could not do what they were trying to do, which was really fun to do. So I learned a lot, and now I'm going back to school. They're paying for it through the GI Bill. Thankfully, that's been a big help. I don't know if I would have been able to go to college before that, if it weren't for that. Damn bugs. Apparently they like to kill themselves on my windshield. So, again, any veterans out there, any active duty people that watch this, thank you. Thank you for the service. All that you've done, everything you will do. For the people who are thinking about joining, they're not sure yet, not sure if they want to have that experience or if they want to go to straight college. I mean, college is great, and it would have been nice to go here first and then get it all paid off through the military. But military was great too. I mean, I was on the worst possible ship and I wouldn't give it up for anything else. So if you're really asking yourself, yeah, go for it. It was a hell of a time for me and everyone I served with. And I don't know. If you want to go to college more, go ahead and join the military after. They'll pay off your student loans. Anyway, I know a whole lot of people haven't seen the one before this, so hopefully more people will start watching here soon. But keep me updated with what you want, what you're looking for. Any reviews, maybe, what I'm doing wrong, what I should be doing. And hopefully I get more videos coming out here soon. And thanks for watching.